Are you ready to shrink? Perfect. Here, drink this. Wonderful. Now that you are very small, I'd like to take a few measurements. Try to. And spread out your arms, please. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And then just okay. Thank you, by the way, for agreeing to do this. There's been a lot of demand for my shrinking potions recently, and I just want to make sure that I can produce the highest quality shrinking experience possible. You're really helping me out here. So, now that I've got those measurements, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your experience. How does the shrinking feel in your body? Any pressure, lightness, or dizziness? Mm-hmm. Did it happen all at once for you, or did it feel more gradual? Do you feel like you, just smaller, or has your sense of self shifted? Interesting. Is your balance any different at this size? Does the air feel heavier down there or lighter? Okay. How do textures feel now? Oh, I see. How are you feeling emotionally? Curious, calm, nervous, excited? you feel more alert, more relaxed, or something else? Is there any sense of vulnerability, or does it feel empowering in a strange way? Has your sense of time shifted at all? Does it feel as though time is moving faster or slower, or perhaps the same? Does the world feel more intimidating at this size or more fascinating? What's the most surprising thing about being small that you didn't expect? Which size feels most natural to you at this point? Is there anything you think I should tweak about the potion? Oh, that's a really good idea. Perfect. Thank you so much for answering those questions. Now, give me just a moment to make some tweaks to the potion, and we'll try again. Okay. Let me take a quick look at you. Okay. Let's get you back to your normal size. Take a sip of this. There you go, back to your normal size again. Before we shrink you down, I'd like to ask a few more questions if that's all right. How does your normal size feel now that you've been shrunk? Did you experience any discomfort during the growth process? Is there any numbness, tingles, or other unusual sensations? And how do you feel emotionally now that you're back to your normal size? Do you feel relief or do you already miss being small? All right, thank you so much. Let's try this next batch. Here you go, drink this. Oh, oh, goodness, you got much smaller than I had expected. The mothwing powder must have compounded the effects of the wormwood. Well, let me take some measurements. Let's see. Wow. So small. Okay. Okay, now hold out your arms again. Okay. Right. Wow, you are so small that I almost lost track of you. If you could answer some questions for me again, that would be wonderful. All right, same questions as before. How does the shrinking feel in your body? Pressure, lightness, or dizziness? Did the act of shrinking happen all at once, or did it feel more gradual? Do you feel like you, just smaller, or has your sense of self shifted? Okay. Is your balance any different at this size? Are sounds louder or quieter or any different? Does the air feel heavier or lighter down there? How do textures feel now? No, that really is interesting. Yeah. How are you feeling emotionally? Are you feeling curious or calm, nervous or excited? Okay. Of course, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just how you're feeling. Do you feel more alert, more relaxed, or perhaps something else? Is there any sense of vulnerability, or do you feel empowered in some way? Has your sense of time shifted at all? Does the world feel more intimidating or more fascinating from down there? What's the most surprising thing about being this small that you didn't expect? Does this shrink feel different than the last one? And do you feel as though your body is adapting, or is each experience still unique? And finally, is there anything you think I should tweak about this version of the potion? I see, I see. Wonderful. Oh, I almost squished you under this notebook. Sorry about that. I think I've got all the information I need, so let me adjust the potion again. Maybe could do that, but let's do. Oh, sorry. Let me put that over there. Look how big these mustard seeds look at your size. Isn't that fascinating? Okay. Just. Okay. And you said the. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, then I think. Oh, oh my God. I just keep losing track of you down there. Then I think it'd be best off. Yeah. Although. Really quickly, can you just take your hand and press it against my finger, okay? I want to see how the strength amplifies at this size. There you go, just push, 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 push. Okay, now other hand. Push, 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 push. Yeah, okay. Okay, then, yes, okay, then I just need just one of these. Should suffice. There we go, just a single one. Perfect. Okay. There you are. All right. This should do it. Let me get you back to your normal size. I'll need to adjust the regrowth potion. Okay. Proper dosing to account for your decreased size. But I do need to increase the growth power to counteract the smallness. So let me just... There we go. All right. This should do it. Oh my. That was not what I had intended. Oh goodness. Okay, where did I go wrong? The growth factor times the amplification constant. That's just be fine. Normalized to baseline size. And then I just got That's it. I didn't account for the change in the relative mass to mana scaling. Oh. Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, just and then divide by magical potential squared. Just okay. And add change coefficient. Yep. Okay, factor out the growth resonance. Okay. Okay. That should do it. But before we get you back to normal, I simply must ask you questions about your experience. All right, how does the growth feel in your body? Is there any pressure, lightness, or dizziness? And did the growth feel like it happened all at once, or was it gradual? Do you still feel like you, just larger, or has your sense of self shifted? Is your balance any different at this size? Are sounds louder, quieter, or different in any way? how does texture feel now? Oh, that's fascinating. And how are you feeling emotionally? Curious? Calm? Nervous? Excited? Okay. Do you feel more alert, more relaxed, or something else? Is there any sense of vulnerability, or do you feel empowered? Okay. Has your sense of time shifted at all? Does the world feel any different from up there? More or less intimidating, more fascinating, anything like that? What's the most surprising thing about being this big that you didn't expect? Which size feels the most natural to you at this point? Wonderful. Thank you so much. This is really fascinating. Oh, man. All right, let's get you back to your normal size, okay? All right. Ooh, actually, if you wouldn't mind, I would love to take some measurements. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Um, well, my tape measure isn't quite big enough to take all the measurements. But I should be able to take some. Can you put out your hands? Thank you. Okay, and the other? Very interesting. And perhaps I can measure some of your facial features. Let me see if I can reach. Okay. And then. All right. It's probably about the best measurements I'm gonna get at this size, but that was helpful. Give me just a moment to write this down. It's quite remarkable. You're surprisingly proportional at all of these sizes. No, that's a very good thing. All right. Now we can get you back to normal. Oh, thank you so much for cooperating. Here you go. Drink this. That looks just right. Do you feel back to normal? Good. time to shrink again. Can you try this batch for me? Perfect. That looks exactly like what I was going for. How are you feeling? Excellent. That is great to hear. Let me take your measurements. Okay. Very good. Now, arms out. Good. Okay. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Yep. All right. All right. So, now for the questions. How does the shrinking feel in your body? Is there any pressure, lightness, or dizziness? Did the shrinking feel as though it happened all at once, or was it gradual? Do you feel like you just smaller, or has your sense of self shifted? Is your balance any different at this size? Are sounds louder, quieter, or different in any way? Does the air feel heavier down there or lighter? And how does texture feel now? How are you feeling emotionally? Curious, calm, nervous, excited? Do you feel as though you're more alert, more relaxed, or something else? Is there any sense of vulnerability, or do you feel strangely empowered? Very good to know, very good to know. Has your sense of time shifted at all? Okay. Does the world feel more intimidating or more fascinating from down there? Do you feel as though you want to explore or stay very still? Interesting. What's the most surprising thing about being small that you didn't expect? Oh, I see. Tell me more. That is surprising. And does this shrink feel any different from the last two? Does your body feel as though it's adapting, or is the experience still very unique? What size feels the most natural to you at this point? And is there anything else you think I should still tweak about this potion? I'm really glad you like it. Perfect. Thank you so much for helping me out. You're really doing me a solid here. I feel like this new version of the shrinking potion is just perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, what's that? You'd like to stay this size for a while? Well, I don't see why not. Just promise me you'll be careful, okay? Don't go getting stepped on or anything. Here. I'll get you a regrowth potion to take with you. Okay. Now, I've got to get you a small bottle so it's not too heavy. This? No, far too big. Let's see. How about this one? No, that'll be too big. Let's see. What do I have that is small enough for you? Ah. How about this one? Yeah, that should do the trick. All right. Here, take this. You can drink this whenever you're ready to regrow. Be careful out there. Take care.